Greetings, welcome. This is the collective reading, time and tides for this new moon time and what has been the solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So we're doing really a sort of general reading for the collective. So this is for us all. At this time, we're doing a kind of personal mystery layout. You could relate that to, some people would say, shadow work. So we're delving a little bit deeper today, and I've laid the cards out. So we're looking at what we need really collectively to investigate, or what we are experiencing generally at this time. Globally, we have the Queen of Swords coming out. Of course, we know the Queen, clear, precise, seeker of the truth, actually knowing the truth, and personal truth is personal truth. At the moment, yeah, it's difficult to know what is true and what is not true. But what we need to always come back to, I suppose, we need to come back to the centre within ourselves and ascertain what is right and a truth for us. We don't expect that to be the same for or within other people. Interesting. What's the key here? What enables us to sort of find the key to clarity? We get the Six of Cups. This is a card of remembering, actually. Remembering what was once important, as much as people coming back to us from the past. But we see in this Thoth deck these beautiful, ornate, kind of nouveau-ish looking cups on a sea that's threaded with gold. These are our connections with others, to always remember our connections with others, whether they're around us or not, whether we're surrounded or alone. And I guess the quintessential archetype of this card, often represented, are the two children offering each other gifts, offering each other flowers with nothing attached. It's the joy of that. It's the joy of giving, of just accepting others for who and what they are. So I think that's pretty lovely. What has been revealed here in this spread, we have the Five of Discs, where we have in the past, over our lifetimes or lifetime, accepted less, waited, avoided being able to receive. It really encompasses a sort of possible victim mode as well, that victim, poor me scenario. But yeah, the Five of Discs is about being left out really in the cold. And last but not least, how best do I honour the information? How best do I honour this information? We have the Star. We open ourselves up here. This is a card primarily of healing, of desires, wishes, dreams coming into fruition as well, but it is ultimately a card of healing. We're mixing the waters up here. We're a conduit, a bridge, is what I always get from the Star. So it's a beautiful card, but we're going to go through and clarify here. We'll go through and clarify, and we're looking at this Queen this Queen of Swords. You know, discernment is highly important at this time, isn't it? And probably one of the biggest challenges at this time. Queen of Swords, please, for the collective. Time and tides. Time and tides. We speak of time. We have temperance. This is a time in between, I always think. Well, not always think, but have thought. We are in a kind of liminal space at the moment, collectively, in between time, transformation time, all those words. A kind of metaphorical death time, you know, shifting sands, which is very hard to build foundations upon, but we work through it. This is just a time that will pass. We have beautiful temperance, again, more water. This gorgeous angel, 1 foot on the earth and 1 in the waters. There's a process going on, and yes, an alchemical process. So we just sort of ride it out and do the best that we can. Let's have a look at the 6 of Cups here, please. Beautiful 6 of Cups. It's a gorgeous card. Too many there. The 6 of Cups, the 6 of Cups. Childhood, you know, that position as a child where you've yet to really have a kind of ego that projects itself out into the world, really, is the 6 of Cups. With that, yeah, well, where do we find the key? Well, possibly in aspects of our subconscious here. We have the moon. Some things we are conscious of, and a lot of our reactions or behaviours are almost automatic, aren't they? They're coming from a place, you know, that we're not always that aware of. And I guess the key is to look deep. This is a personal mystery reading. This is about going into, do your own personal shadow work, if you so wish, because this only can be of great benefit in your own life and to those that you interact with. So we have the beautiful moon, full moon. Maybe by the time it gets to that full moon in Gemini, we have a few more answers. We have a few more insights. We're sort of embodying that Queen of Swords a bit more. So this 5 of Discs for the collective. Oh, God. You know, we get the 5 of Discs coming out again. We see in this Morgan Greer deck represented, by the people standing outside. There's a light on inside. There's probably a great potential feast awaiting, and certainly a nice warm fire, but they're not going in there. And in the position of what is wanting to be revealed, we need to look at where we embody this, because we all have that. Archetypally, we all have that. Whether you want to call it a victim, whatever you want to call it, we all have it. And you know, sometimes it's easier to give more often than actually to receive, to allow yourself to receive. Move forward, allow yourself to receive. So we see honouring this information, having an insight into this sort of, I guess, victim archetype. we have the Star, a card of healing. We need to unravel things, shine a light on what's under this sort of mat to see what lies there for you in order to sort of heal it, in order to shine a light on it. So what was I saying? The Star, this healing card. We have the Four of Discs coming out with that. Expression, the need to balance power, a sense of power with an open heart. We see in this card, it's a very strong card, structurally strong in the Thoth deck. It's a kind of fortress with one way in and one way out, and that's through this material world. In the Morgan Greer, we have the four, the figure covering the sort of vital parts of the body, I suppose. Sometimes we just need to let something go in order to venture over that sort of hurdle and get through the bottleneck and get into this new cycle, get into a new phase. We can't hold on to everything anymore. You know, I liken this card really to the structures that don't seem to be working, that do seem to be crumbling under the weight of everything that's gone on over the last couple of years, I suppose, possibly even the last 50, 60 years. We're in a time of change. But I see that in this card, in this reading, that you know, that giving, allowing something to open, i.e. the heart, allowing oneself to open up does not diminish your power. Okay, so let's see. Gosh, it's all rather intense today for this collective reading, and thanks for joining me. Do check out, I'm doing just the elements this week, so check out your signs, be they, if you know what your chart is, what your planets are in, whether you're heavily watery, whether you're heavily earthed, whether you're sort of fire and air. Check out the elements, the readings, they'll be up soon. So we'll just get a journey map, and we've got a few there. Anyway, that's fine. Excuse me. Beautiful Kim Cran's Animal Spirit card, please, for this reading. And then we'll use Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle just to go through. Let's see. Okay, so they're face down. Lovely pixie and fairies. I love these cards. Love them. Okay, so let's have a look at that first position with the Queen of Swords, Temperance. It's going to take time for discernment, clarity, all of that. Well, it's going to take time at the moment. There's sort of a lot, excuse me, we've got a few dropping down. We've got some unhelpful, confusing energy flying around. We have what is in effect a little brownie, the bodacious bodak, seemingly wanting to help, but just kind of making things even more confusing. Interesting. Hang on a minute. Excuse me. Oops. So we got the bodacious bodak here. Yeah, this is timing, you know. And we also have the beautiful piper. You know, when I see these two, it's kind of like they're having a face-off here. Unhelpful help, and the piper that transitions us through that liminal space into and through a a new threshold. It's the welcoming in and the, how would you say, the marking of letting go as well. The song, when we send off those that have departed, and the welcoming sort of embrace of those that are just born. There's a threshold here, and there's a kind of face-off going on. It's very unhelpful, confusing energy, but also a very clear and precise and beautiful frequency with those pipes and the piper. So we're moving, whether we like, whether we want to, whether we can see where we're going. We're moving into something new, that's for sure. The key here, the key with the Six of Cups and the Moon. This is new territory, but it's actually territory that we're revisiting, if that makes sense. I speak in metaphor here. It's territory that we're revisiting. It is. We're revisiting, but we're moving with it. We're moving forward with it in a new and far clearer way. There is support. Is look to support. Look for support. This is the key through this process of which collectively we're all going through. We seek support from those around us, from our guidance, personal higher guidance, whatever that is for you. And it allows us to see in the dark at this time. I love this card, Lace the Moon's Daughter. So how appropriate to get that with that beautiful full moon. The key to this is sort of collectively and individually aspects of our unconscious mind getting to be able to get glimpses of what lies within that individually and collectively as a species on this planet. Okay, so we're looking at, you know, we had we had the Five of Discs coming out twice for what is this thing that has been revealed over this time, during this liminal space, this moving through the threshold where we get greeted, we get guided by that beautiful piper. So we have the Five of Discs twice. What has been revealed here? Sort of archetypal victim thing of which we all have. Now, what lies within us, like, individually and collectively, what lies within some of those darker corners of what we're not necessarily aware of, right? So we have Epona's wild daughter who goes in. It can be a card of nightmares, nightmares of being confronted by, you know, some of those shadows, dark figures that, you know, we need to understand within ourselves. Something, yeah, it's all in the reveal, you know, like we see the levels of every kind of level of humanity at the moment, all of its beauty, all of its foibles being played out in one collective, you know, scenario. And it's global. It's like, it's affecting everyone all at the same time. It's pretty amazing, actually. But anyway, so there's a directive here. You know, again, we're getting face-offs. I don't know whether you see it like that here, but we're getting face-offs. We have clarity flying through with great support. In the darkness, we have the moon providing us with clarity, providing us with sight. We can see our trail. Here we're going almost into a soul retrieval scenario where we have to go back. We have to look into the dark, into the dark shadows, I guess. So it's all pretty amazing. And then, moving forward, how do we honour the information that we receive? Whether this is just solely individually or as a collective. And this is a collective reading, and these are always general readings. How do I honour this information? Well, with the Four of Discs and the Star. We need to let something go in order to heal. Well, that flew out. We have unity. We have a new beginning. We have this gorgeous light that's been cradled, because it's essentially a new cell that's just about to go. It's new. It's the beginning of something. It's the beginning of something new. With that card in the Fairy Oracle, we have Nellis the Alchemist. This has been, the switch was flicked a long time ago, and I guess this whole thing is part of our evolution, whatever's going on collectively currently at the moment. So that's beautiful. Animal spirit card, we have a rabbit. Little rabbit caught in the headlights. Which way do I go? What is real? What is not? What's going on? Journey map. Journey map cards. We have, firstly, Heart Song. This is about the connections with others, that even when we are not in the same place, when we are not together, those connections run through invisible webs, and we hear the song of those that are dear to us. We need an open heart for this, and faith for that. At the same time, we have crossroads. Yes, we are at a crossroads. We're at a total crossroads here. So it is time to make decisions. And then we have the questioning. Everything is being questioned. What questions are we asking? Are they old, same olds? Same olds. We know the result, the outcome. We're entering something totally new here. And the ability to extend your perspective in terms of asking. So what if I do this? So if my perspectives on my life, everything around me, alters and expands, suddenly I don't have these predictable, it's like a recipe book, predictable outcomes. Because everything's shifting and shifted. And so when we start asking new questions from a wider perspective, we see the potentials in that. We see just not one little table that's got a couple of sandwiches on it, but we see this huge banquet as a food analogy there. We see a huge banquet of possibilities. So that's really gorgeous. There were two fairy cards that came out face down on the floor, desperate to earth themselves. He of the fiery sword, again very similar to unity, but all about truth and clarity. Oh, and Sylvanus, god of the forest, takes his or her mask of truth down to reveal the truth, actually, which we see the sacral lit up, our connectors, our relationships, our relationship with ourselves primarily, and from that, our relationship with our world, the people around us, the world we interact with. So thanks for joining me today, and do check in and check out your latest readings. That'll be all elementals, idea of water, air, earth and fire this time round. So thanks for joining me. Please like, share and subscribe. It helps me to keep this going, and take good care, and I hope you're all well. Thank you. Ka kite.